The 19-year-old French prospect has been creating talk for a while, and it keeps getting louder. How does the 7'3" player find it to go around the basketball court? Let's have a closer look at this point of view video. 19 years old Wembanyama uses his phone to record himself handling the ball, which appeared small in his hand. He can be seen shooting, blocking, dribbling, and dunking it. He laid up the ball after the video while still standing on the court. The viral video enthralled NBA fans. They claimed that Wemby could have easily played on an 8-foot hoop due to his height and quickness. Wembanyama has an 8-foot wingspan, shoots three-pointers, and plays outstanding defense. Above all, he already possesses tremendous star potential. Almost 500,000 people follow Wembanyama on TikTok. The POV video has received over 8 million views. It is an excellent achievement on its own. On Instagram, he has more than twice as many. Teams are reportedly considering tanking for a chance to select Wembanyama in the 2018 NBA draft. He has recently been drawing more attention with each passing year. Wemby, on the other hand, recently said that he disagrees with losing on purpose, merely to get the first choice. Wembanyama, born and reared in France, is regarded as one of this generation's top talents. He can palm a basketball with just 2 fingers, while standing 7 feet 4 inches tall, which is absolutely ridiculous. But size isn't everything. What good is Wembanyama if he is large but cannot shoot hoops? Many huge males abroad fit this description. Because they are unable to utilize their size effectively, their game still needs to transition to the NBA. Wembanyama is not one of those places. Nobody with his frame ever moved with such grace. Wembanyama defies logic in many ways. Despite his unrivaled size, he is incredibly athletic. He moves like a point guard when bringing the ball up the court. Wembanyama already possesses a floating three-point shot and has absurd handling for a 7-footer. Wembanyama started his professional career in 2019. Therefore, he has only been at it for 4 years. During that time, he has already played in 2 LNB Pro A All-Star games and coached Metropolitans 92 to a league championship. He possesses a talent that the NBA has never seen before. It will be entertaining to see him play basketball in America. However, it makes perfect sense to start looking ahead to 2023 regarding the NBA draft. The NBA has, and what it sees may be, the league's next generational draft prospect, if not its next great star. Victor Wembanyama is the top pick in the 2023 draft. That understates the case. Over it, he looms. The lottery for the 2023 NBA draft may be the one that people look forward to the most. Wembanyama is one of the most gifted young athletes in sports history. Wembanyama would have been selected first overall in each NBA draft in history. There are more prizes in this year's lottery besides Wembanyama. Scoot Henderson is an incredibly athletic floor general. He attacks the rim and has an exceptional feel for the game. These qualities make him one of the top point guard prospects in recent memory. Amen and Asar Thompson might play in the fledgling Overtime Elite League. This can sway evaluators in the pre-draft process. There's a potential the first 4 picks in this draft will come from outside college basketball. Although Wembanyama and Henderson are firmly entrenched at numbers 1 and 2, 5, 10. We checked in on the Victor Wembanyama NBA draft sweepstakes at the NBA quarter mark. In the preseason, 7 teams were anticipated to compete in the Brick for Vic race. We added the Charlotte Hornets and the New Orleans Pelicans at the regular season's halfway point. This resulted in 9 teams competing in the 2023 NBA draft lottery's race to the bottom for the most ping pong balls. We may modernize our race. We are checking in on each team's standings in the Winless for Wemby competition. Let's have a look at the Houston Rockets first. The Rockets still have a reasonable possibility of finishing in the bottom 3. The Rockets are just a naturally bad young squad, even though they don't have any significant ailments to deal with. They have earned a 14% chance at the first overall choice. The sole veteran in Houston's rotation, Eric Gordon, might be traded at the deadline. This is how he will make the already young team even younger. Expect Houston to be still predicted for the bottom three when we check in at the three-quarter poll. It is because of the relatively demanding schedule the rest of the way. Detroit Pistons is the second choice. The Pistons are tied with the Rockets for the NBA's worst team. Detroit's offense is similar to their defense too. Cade Cunningham and Marvin Bagley's injuries have made it difficult even to field competitive lineups most nights. That's a recipe for lots of terrible basketball. Compared to the majority of the other teams on this list, Detroit's remaining strength of schedule could be better. The battle to finish in the bottom three will cost them somewhat. But given how awful the Pistons are, it probably doesn't matter. And Detroit will be the worst club in the NBA if they trade Bojan Bogdanovic or Alec Burks before the trade deadline. San Antonio Spurs can be a good option. San Antonio frequently presents as a tanking squad. They frequently bench their veterans, and some of their finest players have also lost a lot of time. However, it doesn't appear purposeful in terms of injuries. Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell, battling legitimate injuries, need time for development. Josh Richardson, Doug McDermott, and Jakob Poeltl may have missed games due to draft positioning. But generally speaking, the Spurs continue to play hard every night. The Spurs were reluctant to make in-season moves until a year ago. However, they were able to relocate certain players last year and could do so again before this deadline. Charlotte Hornets is an excellent team to play with. This was intended to be something other than the Hornets season. They genuinely wanted to be a competitive squad. However, LaMelo Ball has missed 24 games, and Gordon Hayward has missed 21 whole games and portions of a few more. Terry Rozier III, typically a strong player, has missed 10 games. Any team would find it difficult, but Charlotte needs more depth to deal with those absences. Even if the Hornets' remaining schedule is relatively light, it won't matter. No matter who they play, Charlotte will be terrible if they transfer a couple of influential veterans for their kids. They should be considered a contender for the 14% lottery odds. These were the preseason teams competing in the Brick for Vic race. The Toronto Raptors are barely in the play-in bracket. This season, the Toronto Raptors' struggles have prompted fans to declare they must join the tank for Victor Wembanyama. They are likely to win the lottery and get the first pick to choose Victor Wembanyama. Masai Ujiri is on the verge of utterly upending his present roster. Ujiri has very infrequently been a part of tank jobs. If the Raptors opt to sell away their best players, they could be sitting on a gold mine. The Raptors would receive a wealth of unprotected first-round picks and some promising young athletes. France has selected Victor Wembanyama for the World Cup qualifying matches. Victor Wembanyama, a fantastic prospect, will play for France during the upcoming international season. On February 23rd and 26th, the team led by Vincent Collet will host Lithuania in Trelazé and compete against Czechia in Pardubice. Wembanyama made his senior debut earlier in the Group K match. Wembanyama and the other called-up players don't compete for Turkish Airlines EuroLeague teams. It is to avoid well-known scheduling problems. Most players are affiliated with Basketball Champions League and 7 Days Euro Cup teams, although some, like Wembanyama, have narrowed their attention on France's Betclic Elite LNB Pro A for the 2022-23 season. Professional basketball is complex, but Wembanyama's size and fast feet make it appear so. Wembanyama will join the Rockets, Hornets, Pistons, Spurs, Magic, or Wizards. Before the player turns 20, he will be the franchise-changing player for whichever team fails to advance to the top pick.